That's the 20, and let's go to the 08. Okay. Yeah. So I basically got lucky. I think I got lucky with this car. The 20 at 3,000 miles. I mean, it wasn't even a speck on the paint. No chips, no scratches. And whoever got rid of this car made it easy for me to grab it. At the price it was, I grabbed it, took it home, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. And me personally, I can't drive two cars. So what I do is I drive this one for most of the week, going back and forth to work. And this one, basically, I stay local, or I'll probably go someplace and hang out and stuff like that. But when it comes to driving hard or doing a lot of driving and doing all this crazy stuff, I use this car. It's at 300,000 miles. It still is moving. It still drives. It's still smooth. And I have no worries of, being stranded on the highway or having to call AAA. No worries of that. So I could take this out with no problem. And this one, basically, it's like and it's weird because when I drive this car, I feel different when I'm driving this car. It's a different feeling. It's definitely a different feeling. And like I said before, this one drives a lot smoother than the 2020. It drives a lot smoother with the suspension being tighter and stuff like that, and being sport. It's a little harsher ride, and maybe because the wheels and the tires being low profile, maybe that adds to the rigidity of the car. I'm not sure. But every time I look at this car, I'm like, this is really nice. Really nice. So, and I had a choice to get a white one. And I didn't want another white car, so I definitely made sure, and I wanted red interior because I think that getting black on black is kind of whack, because then you don't have the contrast in colors or anything like that. So it's like, I knew I didn't want a white car. I knew I didn't want a black car, and I always said I wanted red interior. So with that said, through my research, I was able to find this car at a really good price. And I got it. Some people don't like the open grille. I love the open grille. I like that spindle mesh that basically opens up the grille like that. I like the lights. And that's another thing. I wanted the triple beam because with these lights here, I don't know if it's this type of light setup, but the plastic starts to basically cloud up, fade, and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's the light setup that causes that. I just didn't want to go and have that happen again. So I said I definitely wanted to do triple beam and see what type of results I get out of the lights and stuff like that. So and I was looking online, and believe it or not, they have a bumper kit that looks like that will fit on here. And I thought about it, and right away I was like, nah, why would I want to make this car look like that car? It don't even make any sense. This is unique to this car, and that's unique to that car. Why would I want to put that on that? That don't make any sense. So I definitely just dismissed the idea right off the bat. But again, what I like about this car, I like the color. I didn't want another white car because the white definitely stands out, but I didn't want another white car. That was for sure. And with the silver car here, this silver car pops. I like to call it platinum. They call it silver something, but I like to call it platinum. And it definitely pops. And the light setup works with the back. And it has like the 3D look right here. You got the 3D look right there. And then, I mean, it's a really nice car. I don't know what to tell you. And then I had to get used to this because on the white one you can't do it like that. Just push the door and then this pop open. So I like that. Just little things about this car that I like that the white one don't have that the silver one has. And with all the safety features that the silver one have, it's like lane assist and this and that, and the technology has been upgraded for this car. It's like I don't know. It's like I think I got a really nice car for the money. A really nice car. And again, when I was looking for this car, I wanted the triple beam. Definitely wanted the triple beam dream. Didn't want the single projector light. Didn't want that because I'm looking at my my headlight housing, and I gotta constantly get that cleaned and buffed and all of that because it clouds up. So I didn't want to go through that with this car. So I was hoping that maybe with the triple beam, maybe it won't mess the headlight housing up. We'll see. Time will tell. And then supposedly there's a camera up here. There's a camera there because that's supposed to work the it's supposed to, well, I can tell you right now, I was driving a little fast and I wasn't applying the brakes hard enough, and the brakes applied itself to keep me from rear-ending somebody. So I guess that camera picks that up, and it also picks up the cruise control, the adaptive cruise control, which is really cool. I don't use it often because I don't know, I letting the car do its thing without me controlling it. I just don't feel too comfortable doing that. So I mean I use it like maybe twice. The adaptive cruise control, I like it, but it's a feature that I know I won't be using a whole lot, but it's there. So when I decide to use it, when I'm doing long trips or stuff like that, I'll use it then. But let me just pop the hood and and also too, I had to change the struts, the hood struts on this because they failed. And again, I love YouTube because YouTube showed me how to replace the hood struts, which is really not that hard. But yeah, so this is the engine bay. I try to keep it as clean as I can. And this cracked. But yeah, this is the engine bay. Really nice and clean. And then let's go to the silver. Or should I say my platinum. And pop the hood there. And what I like about a lot of the different things that's underneath the hood on this car is that whatever's going on here with the electronics and the technology and stuff like that, that makes me feel like a lot of things are happening while I'm on the road to give me, I guess, security with driving. And I mean, it's just a lot of things about this car that they put into this engine and everything that's going underneath it, what I like. I would definitely like it. So when you got this car and you have that car, you have the best of both worlds. You have the class. I think this one's a classic just off of its shape. And then you have the upgraded one with the technology and everything else that's going on with this car. It's a beautiful car. It really is. And it's fast as shit too. Well, compared to other cars, maybe not as fast, but it's definitely faster than this one. Like when I put it in sport and I floor it, it actually throws me back in the seat. It definitely throws me back in the seat, and I could feel the power. So, but yeah. So I jumped from this and jumped to this. I could have traded this in, but I'm gonna tell you something. '08 with close to 300,000 miles, they wasn't gonna give me like $10,000 for it. Was valued the value that I find in this car, a dealer or anybody else probably won't find in this car. Now, if I sold it privately, I could probably get close to 6 or 7 just off of the screen, the Tesla screen that's in it alone. I think bumps up the value. As far as anything else with the car, anybody trying to get the car off of me, they're going to use mileage to bring the price down. They're going to use the seats being covered up as a way to bring the price down. And to be honest with you, I'm telling you, there's really nothing wrong with this car. So I'm better off just keeping it, which I will. I will keep this. The bumper is pretty much no scratches or dings or beat ups and stuff like that. So it's clean. The headlight, the back, it's nice and smooth, and there's no chips. And I mean, I'm telling you, if anybody who wanted this car, you could look at it, it's like a new car the way it sits right now, other than the seats that I spoke about, the mileage. But when I turn the car on, the engine isn't knocking. The headlights, I keep it clean and I keep it polished and stuff like that, so it's not yellowed out and stuff like that. As you can see, it's nice and crystal. So, and then you got this baby right here, and with the gas prices being the way they are at a premium for this car, it cost me like $75 to fill this car up. $75 to fill this car up. It takes me to like 54 to fill this car up on unleaded. And yeah, I mean, between the two cars, I'm happy. So there you have it. You have the '08 that has 300,000 miles, still runs great, still looks great, has the Tesla screen in it. I enjoy driving it. And then you have the 2020. I mean, it speaks for itself. I don't even have to talk too much about it. The features with the automatic start, lane assist, you have the lane departure, you have the lane indicator, you have just a lot of different things about this car with all the safety features that it have. Makes it a nice driving experience. But I like it. So one more look before I end this video. to the next one. All right, I finally did it. Back in October of 2021, I did my research and I went to New Jersey, and this is what I picked up. The 2020 GS350 F Sport, all-wheel drive. Now, I got a good deal on this car, so what I did was I couldn't pass it up, and I went and got this car, and I'm just gonna freestyle this. I haven't had anything prepared as far as what I want to talk about it or anything like that, but I will tell you, after having had it for close to a year, I could tell you the comparisons between this car and my other car, 2008 GS350. Now, being behind the wheel of this, I had it since 2008. I bought it new, and I'm gonna tell you something. When it comes to the ride, it still rides smooth as if I bought it from day one. As a matter of fact, because this one is a sport, this one rides smoother than that one. I think the suspension is a little bit tighter because of it being a sport. I get a smoother ride out of this one than I do that one. So what I'll do is, let me go to the 2020 first. A lot of videos have been posted about the this car as far as reviews and all that, so I'm not going to do all of that. I'm just going to talk to you from an owner's perspective as far as owning this car. And I can tell you, I love this car. I love the car. I like the way it handles, I like the way it drives. I like everything about this car. Beautiful car. Now, when it comes to driving this car and just going around the turns and stuff like that with this car, the bolstering of the seats make it easier to stay in place. The side bolstering, it actually hugs you. Where in this car, when I'm using this, when I'm going around the turns, it's weird. There's no side bolstering. It's just a flat back. And having it being a flat back, I have to prop my leg up against the door to keep me in place of the seat. And because of it not having side bolstering, it's like I have to use my elbow to hold on to. It's weird, but that's the situation with this car. With this car, because of the side bolstering, I don't have to use my leg, my arm, or anything like that. I'm basically secure in the seat, and I'm good. So this being the 2008, being 2020, I got it with 3,000 miles on it. So you can say it was practically brand new. And right now, if you got into the car, you could still smell the new car smell in this car, which is crazy. Whatever materials they made with the interior of this car, it holds the new car smell. What I like about this car, and what I like about Lexus, period. All right, put it like this, right? When you go looking for a car, you want to basically be happy with your purchase if it looks good on the outside and if it looks good on the inside. With this car, you have both. You have a nice looking exterior. In the interior, the materials are soft touch, luxurious looking. So you have the best of both. Where when I was looking at other cars to purchase, because I was thinking about getting away from the Lexus, I was looking at a few cars, and it looked nice on the outside, but the materials on the inside were cheap looking, cheap feel, quality, plasticky, and everything like that. With the Lexus, it looks premium, it feels premium. The sound system with the amplifier in the back, it's a really, really, really good car. I'm happy with my purchase. having this car for like close to a year, I can tell you right now, it's like I don't regret having two cars. Now with the 2008, the 2008 has close to 300,000 miles on it, and close to 300,000 miles. I'll tell you what the problems I had with this car. The Cadillac converter went out, so I had to replace both. The seats disintegrated. I don't know, maybe cleaning them, whatever cleaning materials that was used on the leather may have messed them up. That's possible, but I had to put seat coverings on the insides, and but for the most part, I haven't had any issues with the car except for the Cadillac converter, and the alternator was replaced twice, and the radiator was replaced twice. But for the most part, I do my own oil changes, because when I first got this car, and when I got this car and I went to the Lexus dealership to get my first oil change, they charged me $110. And I said to myself, it can't be that difficult. I think I could do this myself. I went on YouTube, found a video that showed me how to do my own oil change. And when I saw how easy it was, I was tempted to go to Lexus and tell them to give me give me 50% of my money back. Because all it is it's a drain plug. You unscrew it, and the filter, which is crazy. So easy to do. So from then on, I just started doing my own oil changes on this car. And same thing for the 2020. That car, the locations for the filter and the drain plug are basically in the same place underneath the car. So I do my own oil changes when it comes to that. With this car, again, it's like you have this feature, which is really great. So you're just going to hold on to this. And all four windows drop down. The sunroof opens up. And you can air the car out. And then you come to the 2020 and you have the same feature. So with the mirrors closing, got the automatic mirrors closing, and then the windows just drop down, and you can air out the car in the hot summer days, and you basically have. And again, if you look inside this car, just the inside of the car is really, really nice. Oh. Every time I sit in this car, it just feels so good. It feels really good. The materials just look so premium, soft touch. Everything about this car I like. And again, this is not a review because YouTube is saturated with reviews on the GS350 and stuff like that. I'm just telling you from an owner's perspective what this car is about and stuff like that. So, but yeah. So now, this is like the neighborhood cat that I feed. Okay, let me give you some food. These cats that are in the neighborhood, because I have a soft spot in my heart for strays. So I usually pick up cans of food and give it to the cats in the neighborhood. So let me do that. Alrighty, let me give you some food. Yeah. Alright, what are you doing? Yeah. So now, going back to this car, let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you some of the things that I don't like about this car. As much as I love the car, there are a few things that I don't like about this car. Now, when it rains, it's like the water just rolls right off the side and it drops into the car. So the water will come down here and then it'll drop right into the car. So I hate that. Inside the door, whenever I wash the car or it rains, there's water that just sits. It's not slanted, so the water will just sit up here and just sit. So I don't know, but maybe over time that'll mess this up. I'm not sure. But the water sits here, and every time I come out of the car wash, it's like a bunch of water right here that I gotta get rid of. This car was equipped with automatic start. With this car being automatic start, you would think that, oh, that's a feature that would benefit you, but it doesn't benefit me because first off, the range sucks. You have to almost be up on top of the car to start the car with the automatic start. And then when the car is started, as soon as you touch the door handle or whatever you do to basically unlock the car, the motor will shut off. What's the use of having automatic start and you're trying to warm the car up if it turns off? So I was tempted to take it to the local audio spot and let them do the automatic start and give me a stronger signal and all that stuff. But I'm a little afraid of having this car wired by somebody and having them tinker with it, and I don't want anything getting messed up with the car. So that's one of the reasons why I think I'm not going to do anything with the automatic start. So I also found online where you can have the screen replaced and you can have Android and Apple CarPlay. And what I don't like about this car is that Lexus never put one of those in. Lexus basically kept that out of this model for some reason. They don't want to give us Apple CarPlay or Android CarPlay. So now you got to go take it to some place and have an aftermarket screen put in, which they do have. I saw it online. I think they want like $700 for it, where you could touch the screen, you could watch YouTube videos. I mean, it's basically everything you would want this car to come with automatically from the factory, which it doesn't. So those are a few of the things that I don't like about this car. And yeah, what I like about this car that a lot of people complain about, and maybe they just don't know the mechanics of the features that the turnstock have. A lot of people complain that when you use the turnstock, that it pops back up into place, and then when you try to basically turn it off, and you basically put it in the opposite direction, it turns on the turn signal in the other direction. But no, that's not how it works. What I found out about this turnstock, like if you just want to signal to, I guess, a car behind you that you just want to move into the other lane, all you have to do is just tap it. When you tap it and not put it down and keep the signal on, if you just tap it, it blinks 3 times and then it turns off on its own. So I think that the reason why it's designed like that is to give you that option to hit the blinker and let it blink 3 times, go in your lane, and don't have to touch it again because it automatically turns off. So a lot of people complain about the turn stock, but I love it because a lot of times I like to just go into the lane and not just full signal to go into a lane. I just like it to, indicate and then cut off. And that's what this does for the turn stock. So a lot of people hate it. A lot of people complain about it, but I love it. Now, when it comes to the sound system in the 08, the sound system in the 08 was really great. It really was great. But what I did was I upgraded. So what I did was I put in a Tesla screen. Now this Tesla screen is definitely, a lot of people like it. I get great enjoyment out of it. I watch movies on it. Basically, I turn on the hotspot on my cell phone and I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm watching movies. I love having this screen in the car, and I wish that I found out about this a long time ago. I would have got it and I would have been good. But nevertheless, I had to have this installed into the car. Now, the same way I felt about that car, well, the same way I feel about this car, not letting a technician go in and wire and do all this other stuff to put to deal with the automatic start and all this other stuff. I felt that way about this car, but I had to have it, so I took a chance, and I'm happy with the results. Everything is good, so there you go. But like I said before, there's no side bolstering, and these are the seats that I actually had put in because the leather was disintegrated. But there's no side bolstering. It's like when I'm driving, I'm hitting turns and all that. It's like I'm sliding all over the place. So with the '08, when it comes to driving with this, I'm sliding all over the place. And then when it comes to this, the side bolstering, you can see how it comes up, and it definitely hugs me, which is really nice. Really nice. And of course I had to get the blacked out windows. I got the front windshield blacked out and everything. So, and just like you could bring the windows down with the remote, unfortunately you can't bring the windows up with the remote. So what you have to do is you have to take the key out, and you insert the key, and then when you turn it like this, the mirrors fold, the windows come up, and the car is secured. Same with this car. So if they had the feature where you could roll the windows up by the remote the same way you could roll them down, it would be so hot. So you just take the key out and put the key in, turn it, and the windows come up automatically. Sunroof closed. Nice. So the features I like on both cars, they're identical. They work really great and stuff like that. I just wish that with the automatic start that came with this car, the range was longer range, and I wish that you can actually sit in the car. You could basically open up the car door. It's still running. You sit in the car, and then you basically put it in drive. See, this is what needs to be done. The car has to read the key fob, knowing that the owner is sitting in the car, and it's okay that the owner puts it in drive and go. I mean, I don't know why they didn't do that. I guess it's a safety feature or whatever. I get it, but nah. I just wish that they didn't have it so limited when they installed the automatic start. But the little things I did to the car, I painted the calipers. I don't know if you can see that, but I painted them black, and I put the Lexus emblem on it like that. Yeah, so I painted them black. I did that, and let me see. I got my my plate. I got it. I don't know if you can see, but I got it blocked, so you can't really read it, which is nice. Like that. So, and same with the '08. What I did was I went on YouTube and I figured out how to paint the calipers. So I covered up all with tape. I covered it up, and then what I did was I painted it black and threw the Lexus little emblem on it. Same thing in the back. And that's pretty much. I'm not going to put any more money into the '08. I'm going to drive into the wheels fall off. And speaking of wheels, speaking of wheels, these rims, this is my third set of rims. And what I realize is that these cars are designed for the rims that come with the car, the OEM rims, the stock rims. And when you start putting rims that's not designed for the car, or rims that, basically didn't come with the car, things are not going to be right. And it's weird because the rims I had two other sets of rims, and I kept them at 18. I didn't want to go any bigger than 18 because of the power hose in New York is fucking out of control. The power hose in New York are serious. So, and I got these off of I forgot. I got them off of a website in California, and these are the rims. These are like rims that's designed for this car. These are Lexus rims that came with the 450. I think it was. I think it's the 450 GS350. These rims came with. So, and the rims that are in this car, I'm not gonna take them off and put any, because this car came with 19-inch rims. So, and they have low profile tires. I'm going to keep it stock, and I'm going to keep it just like it is. As tempting as it is to get like 20s and all kind of, Vossens and do all that. Because I'll be watching videos of other GS350 owners, and some of the rims that they got on their car look really nice. And I'm like, damn, I want to get rims like that and put them on a car. But it's based on my experience with swapping these rims out and putting all kind of different rims on it. It didn't make sense, and it cost me money. So I'm just going to stay stock and keep it like this. But here you go. So now I have two cars. I have the 20 and I have the 08. And I love both of them. I love them both. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this car up and let you see how this sounds. Let's see. Okay.